Picture this. You come up with an amazing business idea at 2 a.m. You can already see yourself quitting your job, buying a beach house, and finally telling your alarm clock, "We're done here." Then reality shows up like an uninvited roommate. You check your bank account. Yeah, maybe next year. Most people believe becoming wealthy starts with a huge pile of cash. They think millionaires simply had money to make more money. And if you're broke, game over before the game even starts. But here's the twist. Some of the most successful entrepreneurs didn't begin with deep pockets. They started with something much more valuable, something almost everyone already has but rarely uses correctly. And no, I'm not about to tell you to manifest abundance while lighting a scented candle. This is practical. The biggest lie people tell themselves is, "I'll start once I have enough money." That's like saying you'll learn to swim after you already know how to swim. Money is helpful, absolutely. But money isn't the first ingredient that creates wealth. It's actually one of the last. If you're sitting at $0 today, you haven't lost the game. You just haven't started playing it the right way. There are 5 pillars that create wealth, and surprisingly, cash isn't where the journey begins. The first pillar? Time and energy. Not exactly the exciting answer people hope for. Nobody opens YouTube thinking, "Today I'm going to optimize my calendar." But here's the uncomfortable truth. Every billionaire, every successful founder, every top salesperson, every creator with millions of followers gets the exact same 24 hours you do. The difference is what happens after the workday ends. If you're working retail, driving for Uber, stocking shelves at Walmart, waiting tables, or grinding through a regular 9 to 5 just to pay rent, that job keeps the lights on. That's your survival shift. Your freedom shift starts when everyone else heads home to binge another Netflix series asking, "Are you still watching?" Successful people answer that question differently. They're still building. If you're starting with nothing, comfort becomes expensive. Sleeping 9 hours, scrolling TikTok for 3, arguing with strangers on Facebook, and watching every football game won't make your future magically improve. And before someone says, "But I deserve to relax?" Sure, everybody does. But the person who's willing to sacrifice comfort today usually enjoys a lot more freedom tomorrow. The real question isn't whether you have enough money. The question is, what are you doing with the hours you already own? So you've carved out extra time. Great. Now comes the question that trips up almost everyone. What exactly should you do with those hours? Because working harder without direction is like sprinting on a treadmill. You'll sweat a lot, but you'll still be in the exact same place. The marketplace doesn't reward effort. It rewards value. Think about it. Nobody pays a plumber because twisting a wrench is fun. They pay because that plumber solves an expensive problem. The same rule applies online. If you want your income to grow, you need a skill people are willing to pay for. Here's the good news. We live in probably the greatest time in history to learn almost anything. 20 years ago, learning web development, video editing, or marketing often meant paying thousands of dollars for expensive courses or attending college for years. Today, you've got YouTube, free tutorials, podcasts, AI tools, entire communities sharing knowledge that would have cost a fortune just a decade ago. The real cost isn't money anymore. It's patience. Because learning something valuable means being willing to feel awkward, confused, and occasionally wondering if your laptop is smarter than you. Spoiler alert, it probably is. But keep going. Now here's where people make a huge mistake. They randomly jump from one trend to another. Monday, they're learning coding. Wednesday, they're trading crypto. Friday, they're convinced they'll become a real estate mogul after watching 3 TikToks. That's not strategy. That's career speed dating. Instead, focus on 2 types of skills. The first category is technical skills. These are the abilities that produce something tangible. Things like AI automation, coding, no-code app building, web development, video editing, script writing, media production, data automation, and digital systems. These skills solve problems businesses happily pay for. But here's the secret, almost nobody talks about. Technical skills alone won't make you wealthy. The highest earners usually combine them with something even more powerful. Multiplier skills. These are skills that increase the value of everything else you do. Communication, persuasion, sales, negotiation, leadership, emotional intelligence, storytelling. Imagine two people offering the exact same service. One awkwardly says, I think I'm pretty good. The other confidently explains the solution, builds trust, and makes the customer feel understood. Guess who gets hired? Exactly. People buy from people they like. They invest in people they trust, and they recommend people who make them feel confident. Mastering communication doesn't just help you make friends. It helps you close deals, attract opportunities, build partnerships, and open doors that money alone can't unlock. Because at the end of the day, a valuable skill gets your foot in the door. But knowing how to connect with people, that's what keeps the door wide open. So now you've got something valuable. Maybe you've learned video editing. Maybe you're building websites. Maybe you've become really good at AI automation, copywriting, or sales. Awesome. But here's where a lot of people accidentally build themselves another full-time job. Instead of working for a boss, they end up working for 20 different clients. It's definitely better than living paycheck to paycheck. But there's still one problem. If you stop working, the money usually stops too. That's why learning a high-income skill shouldn't be your final destination. It should be your launch pad. Think about it like this. A freelance web designer gets paid to build someone else's dream. A business owner uses that same skill to build their own dream. See the difference? Your skills shouldn't just generate income. They should create assets. Let's say you become an amazing video editor. Sure, you can edit videos for YouTubers and businesses. But eventually, why not build your own YouTube channel? Why not create your own digital products? Why not start an agency where systems and team members handle the workload while you focus on growth? The goal isn't to work forever. The goal is to build something that works even when you're not sitting at your computer. Now here's another reality check. You could be the greatest designer, programmer, chef, or mechanic on earth. But if nobody knows you exist, you're basically the world's best-kept secret. And unfortunately, secrets don't pay the bills. Attention! Years ago, getting customers meant buying expensive TV commercials, renting billboard space, running newspaper ads, or paying thousands for marketing campaigns. If you didn't have money, nobody saw your business. Today, you have something previous generations would have loved to have: a smartphone, an internet connection, and social media platforms that let complete strangers reach millions of people for free. That's absolutely insane when you think about it. Imagine opening a restaurant. The old-school approach was simple. Spend hundreds of thousands leasing a building, decorating it, hiring staff, then pray customers walk through the door. Today, you can flip that strategy upside down. Start posting videos from your own kitchen, film yourself testing recipes, show cooking mistakes, tell stories about family traditions, capture that perfect burger sizzle or fresh pizza coming out of the oven. People don't just buy food anymore. They buy stories. They buy personalities. They buy trust. Instead of asking people to give you money immediately, first, give them a reason to follow you. Build an audience that can't wait to support your business. By launch day, you won't be introducing yourself to strangers. You'll already have thousands of people cheering you on before you ever spend $1 on advertising. And that's a competitive advantage money simply can't buy. Let's be honest for a second. How many incredibly talented people have you met who are still struggling financially? Probably more than a few. Not because they aren't smart, not because they don't work hard, but because almost nobody knows they exist. That's why the next pillar is one people constantly underestimate: relationships. You've probably heard the saying, "Your network is your net worth." It sounds like one of those motivational quotes you'd see hanging in a corporate office next to a picture of a mountain. But in this case, it's actually true. The right relationship can save you years of trial and error. It can introduce you to investors, business partners, mentors, customers, or opportunities that no amount of cold emailing could ever create. Here's the interesting part, though. Most people approach networking backwards. They desperately chase successful people, send random LinkedIn messages, or copy and paste the same cold DM to hundreds of strangers. Almost nobody replies. Why? Because successful people aren't looking for more people asking for favors. They're looking for people creating momentum. That's why documenting your journey matters so much. When you consistently post your work, share what you're learning, celebrate small wins, and even talk about your failures, something interesting happens. People start noticing, not overnight, but consistently. Momentum attracts opportunity. A founder might reach out because they need your skills. A creator could invite you to collaborate. An investor may see potential before everyone else does. Instead of forcing your way into valuable circles, your work becomes your invitation. And eventually you stop chasing opportunities because opportunities start chasing you. Now, let's connect everything together. You started with time and energy. You invested those hours into building valuable skills. You combined technical abilities with communication so people actually wanted to work with you. You used social media to build attention instead of buying expensive advertising. That attention naturally created relationships with people who could accelerate your growth. Only then does the fifth pillar finally appear: money. Notice something? Money comes last, not first. Because once you've built the first four pillars, money stops being something you desperately chase. It becomes the natural result of the value you've already created. And here's the best part. Even if one business fails, you haven't lost everything. You still have your skills, your audience, your reputation, your relationships. Those assets can never be taken away as easily as cash. So tonight, ask yourself one simple question. Are you going to keep telling yourself the story that the system is stacked against you? Or are you finally going to realize that starting from zero isn't a disadvantage? It's freedom. You have nothing holding you back except the decision to begin. Because the game isn't reserved for people born rich. It rewards the people who show up, keep learning, adapt faster than everyone else, and refuse to quit. Your first dollar isn't waiting for permission. It's waiting for action. Now it's your move. And that's where we'll wrap it up. If you made it this far, congratulations. You've officially spent the last few minutes investing in yourself instead of arguing with strangers in the comments. Progress. If this video changed the way you think about money, hit that like button, subscribe, and join our community, because we're just getting started. Remember, your bank account may not change overnight, but your habits can start changing today. Thanks for watching. Stay curious, keep building, and I'll see you in the next video. Until then, stop scrolling and start creating. Your future self is already cheering for you.